Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's Taylor 500 help. Spring and summer season. Here's what you want to do. Call them now. Air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, duct cleaning. Call Taylor now for their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan. Save $100 on a Bradford water heater. Get free diagnostic fees. No overtime charges on emergency repairs with an additional 15% discount. That is Taylor since 1947 with Taylor Heating and Plumbing. And make sure you talk to Jerry. He'll get you set up with all the necessities for the spring and summer season. Speaking of spring and summer season and lawn mowing and all that great stuff, head on up to Webster. See my friends, Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue in Webster, open weekdays 8 to 5, Saturday 9 to noon. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester and the surrounding areas professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. They have everything you need: snow blowers, blowers, chainsaws, lawn mowers, new models, on sale models. They have it all. Precision Lawn and Garden. Kimberly and Justin are the best, and they will set you up with whatever you need. So check them out. And to make your house look even better than a freshly mowed lawn, you want to get your driveway sealed right, and you want to call Express Sealers. They do an amazing job on your driveway. Not a fly-by-night company. They're not one of those door knocker sealing companies. They actually make your stuff look good, and they don't charge you a ton of money. They treat grease spots, and they have thick, professional, hand-applied, commercial-grade seal coat. If you're looking for steady work and good pay, Express Sealers are the guys. So call them today and get your stuff done on your driveway. Call 645-2010. 645-2010. That's Express Sealers.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in Irondequoit, New York, here's Kimberly.
Hello. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, Kimberly's Revolution. And I am here in Irondequoit in our We the People podcast studios, brought to you by Rock Vox Productions. We love Fitz. He's fantastic. Rock Vox Productions is based out of Bushnell Spacem. And if you have an idea about a podcast, you want to do a podcast, you have a corporation that wants to do a podcast, you have a corporation that wants to do a movie, Rock Vox Productions can help you, because they've certainly helped us. And as you heard all of our sponsors, we want to make sure that you support them because they support us. And we appreciate that. So, you know, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Express Sealers, Precision Lawn and Garden, and Taylor Heating and Cooling. Make sure you go see them to get everything set up for whatever your needs are. Support our sponsors. That's all we're saying.
I'm thinking of sponsoring the program so I can get a little publicity here in the first 10 minutes of the show.
You think? I'm here with Chad Hummel from We the People Podcast Network, and Just Tom from Kimberly's
God
Revolution.
bless and be kind to others. We're out of here.
He's done. He's gone.
So I have a question.
Today's show is called Reading, Writing, and Restraining Orders. Reading, Writing, and Restraining Orders. And
so this must have to do with Chad.
It does.
Yes.
We'll get to that more later.
It does. Hi, Robin Grammatico, the hottest, spiciest redhead I know. Do you know Robin? She lives in.
I don't.
She lives in Webster. She's got a little girl named Lucci. So hi, Lucci, and hi, Robin. You guys are fantastic.
Welcome to the show, Robin.
Welcome to the show, Robin, Miss Robin.
And we're all married here, so we won't comment on
her spicy redheaded good looks.
Spicy redheadedness of Robin.
She's a ginger.
It's all good.
She is a ginger. So what were you going to say?
Well, I had a question. So
I have an answer.
Our little intro there, the fife and drum music.
Yeah.
Was that for all of our listeners to hear?
That looks fantastic.
Austin?
I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, that went out.
That was awesome.
Was it not?
So what that brought me back to was we travel as a family to Myrtle Beach every year.
Yeah.
And we drive down and we always stay in various places in Virginia. And we go to Williamsburg, Virginia, Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
It's quite frankly where the country was founded.
It's beautiful.
Jamestown, Williamsburg, Yorktown. And there's a store that's in the city of Williamsburg.
Mhm.
It's a souvenir shop,
Right.
souvenir/ice cream shop. And every year during the summer, they have two colonial fife and drummers that stand out front,
And
and they play
do
that music with
music?
their drums, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a hot summer night. You're on vacation. You just had dinner. You're going to get some
You're
souvenirs
blowing
and
some
ice
money on
cream.
something, made in China.
Exactly.
You're getting some ice cream.
That's the difference between me and you, Chad.
You got the fife and
I
drums.
prefer the steel drums in Jamaica.
Yeah. No, I like the
With
good
the
old,
weed. That's not surprising.
the good old fashioned
Right.
colonial fife and drums.
Out on the beach.
That is kind of cool.
It's a great sound in the middle of the summer.
Absolutely. When do you go on vacation to Myrtle Beach?
We always go in mid-August.
There's I was going to say, if you're gearing up for, I know Memorial Weekend is this weekend, and God bless our veterans everywhere. And it's coming up on the 4th of July. We're not that far away. There's a shortage on fireworks. Did you hear that?
No,
So don't be setting them off at the Hummel household, because apparently there's a shortage.
no, I'd
People aren't able to buy the fireworks.
The Rondequoit police would be at his house for doing that.
Right. Yeah.
blow my fingers off.
That's a huge violation. I'm a
Right.
big fireworks girl, but apparently there's a fireworks shortage for this summer. So I'm going to get to Pennsylvania early to
How
get
could
mine.
there be? We have all the ones left over that we didn't use last year.
I don't have any left over. I mean, we probably shouldn't have. We didn't have the money to blow, but we did it anyway because
There you
I
go.
love fireworks. I love fireworks. So today's show is called Reading, Writing, and Restraining Order. Anything that has to do with the restraining order probably doesn't involve me or just Tom.
No.
It actually involves Chad, and we will get to that. There's the I Stand with Chad rally that's coming up next Wednesday, and we'll talk about that. It was the Super Flower Blood Moon. Did you see it early this morning? I think it's still going to be a full moon tonight, but it's also a rare total lunar eclipse. There it is.
Yeah, apparently Austin can't see the moon at his house. I thought everybody could
Austin-
see the moon.
Austin was up this morning. Austin, did you see the lunar eclipse and the flower blood moon?
No, I went outside to try and see it, but I don't know if it was below the tree line behind my house or what have you, but I couldn't see it.
I was up this morning, oddly enough. I don't know why. I just can't sleep. Right. But I didn't see, I thought the moon would be tonight, but apparently at like 4:18 this morning is when you could see the super flower blood moon and the rare lunar eclipse. But that's what it looks like. It's probably going to be cloudy tonight. So
I was sleeping.
were you sleeping?
I was up late celebrating my restraining order last night.
You have all these things going on and yet you sleep like a baby.
Oh yeah,
Do you really?
that's the only thing I got left is my sleep.
I
It's
mean,
the only
'cause
time I'm at peace.
I find that if there's a lot of
I'll
stuff
leave that
going
alone.
on, I cannot sleep. I've had so many things running through my head,
No, that's a great point. But but honestly, I think I'm actually blessed because no matter how much stress that I have going on,
Yeah.
whether it's just classic work related stress,
right? Because
or
you've been busy because of tax.
yeah,
People are disputing their taxes.
yeah, or just the run of the mill getting harassed by your local police department type of stress. I've been able to sleep. It's been great.
Yeah, very good. So you're in court next week, but before that,
It's in a different court.
you were in a different court. So tell us what's going on with the mask and going to see your kids at school as they, perform in sports or do whatever. Can you be on school grounds? Because you were barred from school grounds. Am I correct in that?
How many hours do you have?
We only have enough.
Yes.
Listen, brevity. Have I taught you nothing
No,
in the
I
short
can't.
time that we?
A
I can't-
5-minute conversation for an hour.
I know.
I can't help it.
Chad just got
Chop,
a
chop,
letter.
chop.
Chad just got
Chad
gotta
just
move
got a letter.
I have to
Tell us
teach
who
you.
it's from.
I have to how to talk in sound bites.
Yeah.
All
you're
right. Because if you're going to go on big shows,
I'm a long-winded lawyer.
like you were just invited on Fox, right?
Yeah.
You were like this close,
I was
and
that
then the whole,
close.
Israel,
Apparently there
Hamas,
was missiles and shit going on.
Palestine, it's a whole big thing over there. But that's what they want you to do. Short. No, but I'm teasing you. We have all the time in the world.
Yeah. So just as a recap, to make the story longer, May 1st, I was arrested.
Right.
May 3rd, the school district trespassed on my property to serve me papers telling me that I'm no longer allowed to be on school property at all.
Because you weren't wearing a mask outside
150 feet away from everybody.
at your senior son's varsity baseball game,
That is correct.
right? Outside,
Outside.
not wearing a mask.
100%.
They told you to put on a mask or we're going to call the police, and they did.
Yep, I told them to go fly a kite. They said, okay. They went and got the spool.
And then you were arrested, and then you had to go to court, and you
Yeah.
had an arraignment. And in the meantime, they served you papers.
Correct. So for the past, it's been a month now. For the past month, my son and my 2 daughters have played approximately 20 home baseball and softball games that I've been banned from going to.
That's so sad.
I can't even pick up and drop off my kids at school. So my
you
wife
can't even do that.
can't even pull in the parking lot. It's a total and complete ban. Nothing. Can't even. Yeah. So if I go to pick up my senior son Tyler or my daughter Taylor, who's a sophomore, if I go to pick them up after one of their games or one of their practices,
You have to park across the street.
I have to stop and park on Eastridge Road.
That is not true.
Busy Eastridge Road, and then they have to walk all the way from their field, all the way through the parking lot out to the road where then I have to let them in the truck.
Mhm.
So just look at the embarrassment on them, right?
Right.
And I know that there's people out there that would say, well, that's your fault. You caused that on your, you caused that
Right.
to happen. No, I didn't, right? How could I have known that by lawfully going to my son's baseball game and not wearing a mask 200 feet away from anyone else in attendance,
Right.
in compliance with the sign that is still, as we speak,
Mhm.
it is still on the athletic facility that says you only have to wear a mask when you cannot maintain social distancing. It's still there,
Right.
right? So anyway, so that's where we're at. So for 4 weeks, I've been banned.
You haven't been able to see unless it's an away game,
Correct.
and then you can actually go see them play. I mean,
Correct.
that is.
I can drive out to Batavia. I can drive out to Brockport. I can drive to Greece Arcadia and Olympia.
And how sad
in
and
Pittsburgh.
ridiculous is that you can't watch your sons last year playing baseball at home because of such a stupid reason, right? So you weren't wearing a mask outside.
Yep.
So you had the restraining order. What happened? And then you had the court appearance, and
Yeah.
you have to go back, and the next court appearance is next week. But
on the
what
criminal case
on the criminal case, because
Yeah.
you were charged, right,
with a crime,
with a crime
B misdemeanor, could get
For-
up to 90 days in jail.
for not wearing a mask.
Well, for trespassing, allegedly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they made
They
that.
bootstrap it into a trespass.
But you went in front of a judge the other night.
Correct.
And who was that judge?
I went in front of the Honorable Daniel Doyle, Justice Doyle.
I have been in front of Judge Dan Doyle.
For what?
Shocker.
Did you get a letter?
He used to.
Were you on Lyle Avenue,
I got,
Kimberly?
I got plenty of letters, actually.
Nice.
He was my divorce attorney in my first divorce.
Oh, wait, your divorce attorney or judge?
I'm sorry, what did I say?
You said attorney. You
Oh,
meant
no,
judge.
he was my divorce judge.
He was the judge. You
he
went in
was
front
You
of.
have a
judge.
judge for a divorce?
He was a judge. Yes,
Really?
because of my. Yes.
Yes, of course you do.
Yeah, you have a judge.
You'll know someday, Tom.
But he was a good guy. I cannot complain about Judge Dan Doyle.
Yes. So I spent the past 3 weeks doing almost nothing but working on filing this motion to lift the ban.
The restraining order.
Yeah, I applied for what's called a temporary restraining order that bans the school from enforcing their no trespass ban on me. So I filed those papers Friday morning, this
Mhm.
past Friday morning.
Mhm.
And by Monday morning, the court luckily jumped right on it. The court notified the school district's attorneys
Mhm.
who are out of Syracuse, notified them that they were going to hold, that Judge Doyle was going to hold a digital court conference yesterday at 3 p.m. to consider whether or not preliminarily the judge would order that I'm allowed back on campus until he can actually hear the entire case.
Right.
Right. And it's rare to get what's called a TRO, or a temporary restraining order, which is what I asked for, because it's usually only done on an emergency basis when there's something called irreparable harm,
Right.
meaning that as every day goes by and I miss another game, I can't go get that back.
You can't get it back.
You can't be awarded.
No, you can't, no.
be awarded money that's going to replace.
No, of course not. It's
Yeah.
an experience. It's being there for your kid.
Exactly.
It's having dad, watching the game. It's
Yeah.
never. I mean, it's gone.
So we went in
Right.
front of. So it was myself and my wife. Obviously I am an attorney, but I'm representing myself.
Sure.
So my wife's one of the petitioners on the lawsuit that I filed. So my wife and myself appeared on this Zoom conference with Judge Doyle and the attorney for the school district. And I've always said, I've been practicing law for 18 years. I've always said that usually probably 90% of the time within the first minute or so, the judge's remarks will lead you to, where he's planning on going.
Right.
The first,
you kind of get a feel,
yeah,
right?
the first thing that Judge Doyle said when we started the Zoom conference after the introductories, Judge Doyle said, so Mr. and Mrs. Hummel, you have children that are playing sports right now? And I just knew right away that I knew where he was going. He was playing these are their kids card.
Right. And he has children, so he knows. Yeah.
And he said, well, until we can get this matter resolved, until we can get into the merits of the case, before he even heard any arguments from either myself or the school district attorney, he said, I'm going to be, granting an order that allows Mr. Hummel back on campus. We're going to make this quick and easy today. And then there was some significant pushback from the lawyer for the school district.
Really?
Yes. Significant pushback.
We don't want Mr. Hummel on campus watching his children like a good dad, like an involved dad, right? Like a family man.
Yep.
We don't want that in Irondequoit. We don't want a family man or a good dad.
No, we want to eliminate parents.
Yes.
They're obstacles.
Right.
Obstacles to the agenda.
Does that blow your mind?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you so angry?
Beyond.
If
it wasn't for my wife, this is how I introduced ourselves. And Judge Doyle knows me, so he said, "Hi, Chad, how you doing?" I said, "Well, Your Honor," I said, "I brought my attorney here with me today."
Your wife,
and he looked at my wife on the Zoom conference, and he was like,
"Oh, a Zoom? You weren't actually in a courtroom?"
No, this was a Zoom.
Oh, okay.
It's called Teams.
Did you both have your pants on?
No comment. This is through Microsoft. It's called Teams.
But I know what Teams is.
Basically a Zoom conference.
Yeah.
And so, Justice Doyle said, "Hi, Mrs. Hummel, appreciate you being here," and again, if it wasn't, my wife kind of kept me calm and level-headed because it's, when it's personal, it's personal.
It is personal.
So,
and then they had pushback.
Yeah. The pushback essentially sounded like this. Well, Your Honor, I heard what you said, but I don't think you should do that because at that point, what you're doing is you're telling the school district that it doesn't have the right to order parents what to do, basically is what he said.
Okay.
And he said, so I'm basically going to be in a position where I have to call my client and tell them that their court orders on Mr. Hummel or their orders on Mr. Hummel don't matter. And they're going to be an angry client.
Really?
So
that's
So
Justice Doyle's response.
Isn't that the point of a judge?
Justice Doyle's response was essentially that. He said, okay, well then I guess you're going to have an angry client.
I guess you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. So
sorry, that's what we do as adults.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get mad at us and we have to do damage control. That's what that's called.
Yeah.
There are dumpster fires. You go put them out. That's your
Exactly.
job. As an attorney with a client, it's your job to put out the dumpster fire. Yes?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So you go do your job.
Yeah. So I
love Dan Doyle. What a great guy.
So Justice Doyle asked me to prepare a court order. I just submitted it by email a little while ago, and Judge Doyle will sign this court order. It's already official, though. He made essentially a verbal directive to the parties because, after I recognized clearly that he was going to rule in our favor. And again, this is just preliminarily. Later on, when we have the actual hearing, it's possible. It's possible that he could hear evidence that causes him to switch. Once he finds out that I had an AR on me and that I was drinking and smoking weed on campus,
you weren't doing any of that.
Yeah, once he finds all that out, he's going to rule differently. But at least for now, I'm in a good spot. So
the restraining order lifted.
Yes, but I had to impose on him at that point, which I felt like shit doing because he had just given me a favorable ruling. But this was at around 3:30 at this point. The conference started at 3. So we're trying to wrap it up around 3:30.
I like that. Half hour. Boom, done.
And my daughter has a game last night at home that starts at 4:45.
Okay.
So you
wanted to go to that game.
Yeah. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, there's not going to be a court order by then, right? I got to prepare it. I got to submit it. The protocol is whoever wins prepares the order, submits it. The other attorney has an opportunity to review it.
It could take 48 hours, 24 hours.
Exactly.
Okay.
Usually it takes at least 48 to 72 hours,
okay.
A couple days, 2-3 days to get something signed off on. So as I was expressing that predicament to the judge, he could see where I was going, and he kind of interrupted me, and he turned to the attorney for the school district, and he said, well, I'm making a verbal decision here from the bench, and Mr. Simons, of course, will let his client know that Mr. Hummel will be on campus this afternoon. And that there, and that there won't be any problems with,
that's amazing,
with security staff approaching Mr. Hummel.
Yeah.
But then, to be fair, he then turned back to me and he said, and of course, Mr. Hummel, there won't be any problems from you while you're out at campus, this evening. And
did you wear a mask?
So, yes.
Oh boy.
Sell out.
Is the show over? Is that it? We're done.
Yeah,
we're
done.
canceled.
Sell out.
Well, this is what happened. So, Judge
Where
Doyle.
did you find one?
Part
Take one out of the parking lot.
I found one in the gutter. Part of his bench decision that he made was, he's like, Mr. Hummel,
You have
You have to be good for now.
until I decide the mask is, because part of my motion that I filed was not only that I should be allowed back on campus, but that the school's mask policy should be thrown out because it's arbitrary, it's capricious in legal terms.
Right.
But he wasn't going to make that decision yesterday, and rightfully so. It wasn't that type of hearing. The only thing that was on the books yesterday was to decide whether or not I should be allowed back on campus because I'm losing as every day goes by.
Right.
So he said, Mr. Hummel, I'm going to allow you back on campus. However, whether I agree with it or not at this point, you are going to have to follow whatever their policies are.
Now, what about Maggie? Did she put a mask on? Because she didn't need to at that point.
Well, that's the school policy.
So you
right?
did.
So I did.
So you did.
I did. And
Sheep.
I can't even, if I tried to describe to you the absurdity
I know
of the landscape of what my daughter's softball game looked like yesterday, with the level of security that was in attendance, with the athletic director being there, with people on golf carts riding around back and forth in between fields.
For a softball game?
With people on their radios. You could hear radio chatter because people have their walkie-talkies on their hips. It's
what year is your
the
daughter?
national championship game you went to?
This is a 7th grade modified softball
You've
game.
got to be. I don't ever remember any security or the athletic director being in any of my daughter's modified lacrosse games.
You don't even know the half of it yet. So backing up, and this is another story that, maybe for another day, I don't know, but because we don't have all night.
Hopefully.
Is so last Wednesday, I think it was the 18th. And
was that the day that Mayor Lovely's husband got busted?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last Wednesday after the show.
Yeah. So this is all off the record, right? Nobody's listening. So I went on.
Probably. You've been talking for 25 minutes.
Nice. I went on campus at the middle school. Right.
Okay.
In an alleged violation of the no campus ban.
Yeah. Paul wants to know, was SWAT team on standby at Aranda?
Right.
Honestly, they honestly may have been.
Point, Paul.
Yeah.
And Rich also says, hey, when you get those papers, you probably should carry them with you to every, home game. Just to have them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rich Martinez.
I'll be there this afternoon. My son has a game at 4:45 today, so I'll be there for his first home game. But last Wednesday, I went on campus. I hadn't yet been able to see one of my 7th grade daughter's softball games,
right?
Because of the scheduling, versus home versus away, with 3 kids playing, it was always a perfect storm for me to miss her game.
You're gonna be running around like crazy.
Yeah. So essentially last Wednesday, I decided, screw it, I'm going. So I went, and long story short, Tom's like, yeah, right.
Tom looks mortified.
The athletic director showed up, right? Somebody blew me in. I had been there for 5 minutes.
Someone tattled?
Yeah, one of the staff there, one of the security staff.
Snitches get stitches, people.
That's right.
Don't you know that?
The athletic director shows up.
What pussy did that?
Yeah, the athletic director shows up. And
that's a dick move.
And then we get into
that's a dick move.
That was me. I want him to get arrested again.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to. We get into an email back and forth email discussion between myself and the athletic director the next day, where he's letting me know that he knows that I was there. Right.
I know.
He's scaring me.
That I know that you were there.
And my response to him was, well, you know what, Mr. Vacanti, I appreciate that you documented the fact that you were there, and that there was several, if not a dozen or more, people that were there without masks on.
Yeah.
And you never enforced the masking policy while you were there. And he didn't. I watched him. My wife was there without a mask on. After I left, I got in my truck and left because I don't need any more confrontations
Right.
in front of my kids. Right. But after I left, my wife went over and stood next to him and walked past him a couple times without her mask on. And he never said a word. And he never said a word to anyone else that was on campus without a mask on.
Yeah, that's because he was looking at her ass, Chad.
Whatever.
She does have a good ass. Yeah, your wife. Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
So I'll get in trouble for that. No, I'm just kidding. So the fact that he shows up, doesn't enforce the mask policy that he's claiming that they're so ardently enforcing, and then I find out through later communication that they moved the remaining home games for my daughter's modified team. They moved those games from the middle school field over to the high school,
so they can
where they'll be able to keep track of people more closely.
People like you.
The lengths that they're going to cover their ass because they
crazy.
stepped in shit by having me unlawfully arrested and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, to the point where my daughter who's a sophomore, she was supposed to have a JV game on her JV field at the high school last night. It was supposed to be a makeup game. But because they had already decided to move the modified games to the field, they had a field conflict now. And they had to cancel my daughter's makeup JV.
Oh my God. All
They're
because of you.
Yes.
All because of you.
They're screwing over these kids' athletic careers because they're trying to enforce a mask policy that they were never enforcing in the first place.
So ridiculous. Reading.
All right, I'm done.
Writing.
Kimberly, to
restraining
me,
order.
To me, I call that Tuesday with Chad.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
He's a lot to handle.
Yeah, that is a lot. But I mean, so ridiculous. But the bottom line is the judge lifted the restraining order and you can legally go on to campus and watch the games, which
That's correct.
That was the goal.
That's what I set out to do.
So fast forward to this coming Wednesday, you have another court date.
Correct. June 2nd.
So the I Stand with Chad rally is happening on Wednesday, right, Tom? Just Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Tom is still here.
Awesome.
I Stand with Chad. I don't know if we can see. So
yeah, it's on camera.
So are we? I'm doing the show early. What time is your court date?
I don't know.
You don't know what time?
5, I think.
5. So
yeah,
we're
same as last time.
It's your
we
court
did our.
date.
Oh no, maybe it's 5:30. Didn't we do our show last time? We
It
did our.
was
we did the
4:30.
show.
Yeah.
I was told it's 5 though.
But I thought we were kind of, we'll revamp our schedule.
I'll figure out when I'll figure out when my
for
court
next
is.
Wednesday. But we're doing the I Stand with Chad rally. Yes.
Yes.
Kind of doing the same thing. And so that is actually happening. But the great news is a judge actually had common sense and said you can get back on campus. So that is a good thing.
Let me tell you just one other
Oh,
quick funny tidbit though from Judge Doyle, Justice Doyle. People don't know Supreme Court judges are actually called justices.
Mhm.
You're supposed to call them justice. So at one point, Justice Doyle said, "Now, Mr. Hummel, you're not gonna show up there tonight and create any sort of scene. You're not gonna have your car all decorated, for example, bragging,
Right. Hey, here I am.
and so on and so forth."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, Your Honor,
They're going to rub their nose in it.
yeah." I said, "Well, I may have a couple re-elect Judge Doyle bumper stickers on my car. Is that okay?"
you know
He
what
laughed
you
his
should have
ass
said?
off.
Yeah, I bet he did.
You know what you should have said?
I bet he did.
Should have said, "Do you know who I am?"
Listen, here's this whole thing about, there was a tweet from a year ago from CNN.
Can't run from your past.
And you cannot, because your tweets are out there. You
Who was the
can't.
president at this time?
Well, it was Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump. And guess who tweeted about Donald Trump asking, about where the Wuhan virus originated, right? So what a difference a year makes. Here is the CNN tweet from May 6th of 2020. We urge the U.S. to stop spreading disinformation. China says recent accusations by the Trump administration that the COVID-19 pandemic originated in a lab in Wuhan are a political strategy for Republicans ahead of the 2020 presidential election. So CNN tweeted that 1 year ago. Guess what's the big topic of discussion now? Where did the virus originate?
From the Wuhan lab.
From the Wuhan lab in China.
The China virus.
After we found out that 3 researchers got sick in November of 2019, well ahead of when all of us found out about it.
China.
That the virus escaped. And now, of course, President Biden is saying, you got 90 days to tell me whether or not that Wuhan virus originated in a lab there and was released.
Is that how long he's going to be alive?
That's it.
And
That's all he's got
We
left.
showed
is
a
90
video.
days?
We showed the video yesterday. We're all lab rats yesterday about how he's just
He's
impa-
Sleepy Joe.
He's impaired.
Yeah.
He's
think?
he's seriously. President Biden is seriously impaired.
I saw that tweet that you sent out where he was in a meeting or
Yeah,
something.
that was it.
Oh, did you guys play that yesterday?
We played that on the show yesterday.
I watched that. That was unbelievable.
These
papers, whatever.
And he said, and I'm like, what's going on with the guy? Is he having some kind of a seizure? Is he having a moment? I don't know. And
if he had a moment, he might actually be lucid.
The microphone in his ear had a Bluetooth problem.
So now President Biden, yesterday, 2021, says if the Wuhan virus originated in a lab and was released, which is according to our current attorney, what is this? Not attorney general, but he's the surgeon general. The surgeon general says there is enough evidence to show that it originated there.
Wow.
So there you have that, but last year, President Trump was a horrible person.
Bad orange man.
For even suggesting that the virus started in China and was released. Horrible. How dare you? President Trump is awful. He's racist against the
Xenophobic.
Asian, people.
Well, the thing is,
they called him every name in the book for even suggesting that was a legitimate thought, right?
I don't recall the landscape being that they were mad at him because he was suggesting where it came from. It seemed to me that the general public last year at this time accepted the fact that it may have come from China.
Yeah.
Their issue was the fact that he was calling it the Chinese virus.
Well, it is a Chinese virus.
Even though that's where it was from. Because right now they're calling the variant the Indian strain, aren't they?
Right. From
and that's okay.
From the country of India.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to refer
to.
to.
But how dare you call it the Chinese virus?
I mean, it's so over the top, the double standard that we're supposed to play by here.
It really is.
When it comes to this is racist over here, right?
But
watch this red ball.
This isn't.
Yeah, watch this red ball. It's racist.
Here.
But then this red ball over here, it's not racist.
Where'd the ball go?
Tom's looking for the ball. Where's the ball?
If I had a red ball,
I'd
roll it across.
Speaking of China,
Where'd the ball go?
oh, wait a minute. So someone sent me. This was a sign that someone was holding up at a protest
Signs.
about what they got everyone in a country to do, really in less than 5 months. Do we have that sign? It's a protest sign. You know how I love protest signs. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I proved that today.
If you've ever wondered whether you would have complied during the 1930s Germany, now you know.
100%.
Yeah.
Now you know. People say, oh, it could never happen again. Nothing like that could ever happen again. Look how quickly they
Masks on, masks off.
eviscerated an entire economy in the United States with the so-called deathly virus, right? Look how quickly they eviscerated the economy. Look how quickly they forced you into seclusion. They shut down restaurants and businesses and made you, Chad Hummel, wear a mask last night while you're waiting on a judge to decide, what's going to happen if you're going to have to go to jail for 90 days. Arresting someone for not wearing a mask outside is lunacy and ludicrous. Not the singer.
Is it blood lunacy? Or is that a different thing?
It is a different thing.
The truth that the words in that sign tell that people that still have their heads buried in the sand is it's so deep because, and again, this is kind of what I was trying to illustrate with what I witnessed last night when I actually did show up at the game and I saw everybody had a mask on. I've been to dozens of games
Right.
at other locations where people aren't wearing masks,
Right.
and there's no security and there's no enforcement of anything. It's just people getting together and watching their kids play high school athletics. Right. But we all know that the way Hitler was able to accomplish what he accomplished in murdering 6 million Jews, he didn't do it himself, right?
They got other people to do it for him.
He got good people, right? Quote unquote, good people to follow the rules.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And everybody loves to say, oh, well, that's not the same. That's not the same. That's not the same. You can't compare this to this to this. No, you can. You can. Because at the end of the day, it's people following rules for the sake of following rules.
Right.
Every time somebody says to you,
with
it's
no
not
science.
Yes.
Follow the science. There's no science behind wearing a mask.
Yeah. Every time somebody says to you, I'm just following the rules, and that's a bad example because nobody's getting killed and nobody's getting murdered. All you have to simply do is ask that person, tell me now what rule it is that you won't follow. Tell me where you're going to draw the line.
Right.
Because you always say, I'm just following the rules. Even the campus security director and the police officers that had me arrested and completed the arrest, they each said to me, to a man, they said to me, well, I'm just doing my job. Well, if you're just doing your job and you're the ones with the badges and the guns. Isn't that
what German soldiers said as well? That were running the camps.
Their job.
They're just doing their job.
So where does it end?
I thought that was an interesting sign that was sent to me.
Yeah.
And
great stencil work on that.
It's, and
we're headed down that road again.
It speaks the truth, doesn't it?
100%.
It actually speaks the truth. So the I Stand with Chad rally is happening next Wednesday.
And now the news.
Right at Irondequoit Town Hall. So if you can come out, there was a huge showing last I Stand with Chad rally right before your court date. Could this be the end? Is this going to be it? Can we just wrap it up Wednesday? Because, I don't have a lot of time to stand out in front of courthouses, to be honest with you.
I thought you were kind of a parking lot girl.
I got a lot of things going on. I'm very busy.
So you're not a parking lot girl?
Well, all I can say.
What do they call those, lot lizards?
All I can say is it could have been over the first night, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't. I know they dragged this shiatsu out.
And it could be over this time, but we'll have to wait and see. We really will. I don't know.
How long have you been a lawyer?
18 years.
Did you, when you went to law school and then you got out and you took the bar exam, right?
Correct.
Did you pass?
No.
The first time?
I still haven't.
So
I've never passed up a bar.
Kim Kardashian.
Yes, I did pass it the first time.
Kim Kardashian failed, and I don't know if this is separate from the bar or if it is failed her first year law student exam. Is that the bar?
Well, there's first year law school exams.
Is that different than the bar?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. So she needed a 474. She scored a 474. She needed a 560 to pass.
That's what I got on my SAT.
So every year of law school, you have to take a second year law exam and a third year law exam. Is that how that works?
You take your exams for your individual courses.
I just wanted
something
to know
may have changed though.
I wanted to know if you were smarter than Kim Kardashian. That's all. I'm getting at.
I must be. I'm. You know what? The fact that you have to ask me that question, this is horseshit.
I think it's open for conversation.
Could you, Austin? Could you do something about this, please? She's asking me.
I just wanted to know.
I think it's very legitimate.
Smarter than a Kardashian.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Smarter than a Kardashian.
So
she probably hasn't been stuffed and cuffed lately, like I have. So maybe she is smarter.
I'm sure she gets stuffed and cuffed every night.
Oh, I'm sure she has.
Ouch.
Yeah, I just wondered if so it's like a final. It's like finals after every year.
Yeah, you have finals in law school, just like you have them in college and.
So what does that say if you fail your first year law student exam?
She spent too much time in the bar.
And not the right bar, right?
Yes, correct.
Apparently.
I'm just surprised she got into law school and passed her LSAT.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know what you have to score. I mean, I don't know. But if Elle Woods could do it,
that's right.
Then anyone can do it.
She was very committed, though.
And Elle Woods?
Yes.
I'm not even going to explain it. You have to see the movie. How could you not love that movie?
We got to get bigger text on these.
With Reese Withers. Which one? So happy for you, Chad, that you're now allowed on the campus. You should have never been banned. I also would have worn a mask to see my kids, even if I didn't believe in them. And is that Worthy Duncan says those who were given power during the pandemic don't want to give that power up. Then that's true.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Those who were given power during the pandemic, all of a sudden, they're high on the power, right?
That's a great point.
It's gone to their head. I mean, that is a really good point. So now they're having a pissing contest over who is going to hold on to the power. And that is absolutely true.
I don't know what it looks like at all the school
Worthy
districts, but our athletic director, Kyle Vacanti, I've noticed of late his email taglines don't just say that he's the athletic director anymore. His title is now health director and athletic director.
Oh, he's adding to the title.
Yeah. So these
How
athletic
is everyone
directors,
adding to the title and I'm like taking
So
titles
does he
off?
bring a banana and condoms with him to the games?
these athletic directors have
what does the
probably
health
been given
director do?
raises with CARES money,
Right.
and they've been given more power and more
Right.
control.
Right.
And they wield it
And they
over
love
us
it.
as if they're our government. They're the school district. We employ
Bingo.
them to
There-
teach
there you
our
go.
kids.
Amen.
And yet I go to a game and they're
Amen.
out there in security uniforms wielding authority over us as
Yeah.
if it's absurd.
I know.
And they don't want to
Completely.
give up that control.
And I was telling, Just Tom yesterday on Kimberly's Revolution, the Daily Show.
I don't remember.
That, Evan Dawson, who was once on Channel 13 and now he went from TV to lowly radio. I say lowly because that's the only thing
Pretty
I've
soon
ever
he'll be
really
on a
done.
lowly podcast.
But, he was asking this question on Twitter. How do you feel not wearing a mask? I feel slightly naked. And we kind of got
Oh,
into
God.
it. I don't know if you saw the tweet,
I didn't.
but then he said that I wasn't empathetic or considerate of others.
How
So we go from
stupid.
me saying his question was ridiculous to all of a sudden I'm a heartless bitch. So I don't know how you make that jump.
These-
It is really kind of crazy.
I've said it before. I mean, it's just intellectual dishonesty. People are so lazy to actually think one thought through to the next and the next and the
or
next.
to even have a thought of their own.
Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah, you're inconsiderate. I
I'm
mean,
inconsiderate and I'm not empathetic, and that I really need to look
Makes sense to me.
within myself. And I'm like, I just said your question's ridiculous. That's all I said.
So is he still wearing his mask then?
Who cares? I mean, I don't even know what he's doing. He said he wasn't, and he felt naked and wondered how
Yeah.
everyone else felt. And I just thought it was a silly thing.
He's intellectually naked.
So there were a couple of shootings last night in the city, and there was also a mayoral debate last night
Gun
between
violence.
Malik Evans, who was on the school board and is on the city council, and Lovely Warren, our mayor, whose husband was just busted last week for having 31 grams of crack cocaine in his vehicle on his way to a drug deal. And he also had about $50,000 in his pocket, because you carry around that much money, right? Lovely Warren's cousin,
He had
and
50,000 in his pocket.
he had 50,000 in the car.
Holy shit.
He was just going to the Mirage.
100
They were all ones.
$100,000 was collected from 6 homes overall, including his home that he shares with Mayor Lovely Warren,
Wow.
that he lives in, but his name isn't on the deed, that she lives there with their daughter that she's supposed to be separated from.
Yeah.
So last night, as this debate is going on, there's gunfire in the city in which a woman in a church while worshiping was hit by stray bullets, right?
Yeah, that's not good.
Is that a horrible thing? After guns were found in Mayor Lovely's home, we have all this gun violence, right?
So-
I think over the weekend, some 80 rounds were fired.
So stained glass windows are not bulletproof?
They apparently are not.
No.
So they're doing the mayoral debate last night, and I don't know, you were probably at your daughter's game or, running around with the kids. Tom, you were probably drunk.
I don't know where I was. What was this
I don't
yesterday?
know. It was last night.
Ah,
So it was,
who remembers such
um,
minor details?
Channel 8 did the host of the video or hosted the debate, and Adam Chodak was the moderator and did a pretty good job. But here is where the media is giving Lovely Warren a pass. So they do their intros, they get into it. Malik Evans says, yeah, I want to run for city council because why not? And then Mayor Lovely says, well, I want to run for city. I want to be mayor. So, so here's why. So then Adam Chodak starts asking the question of why they want to be mayor. And he says, Mayor, you're facing indictment charges. You're under indictment. And we all know what happened with that thing last week.
Right.
That thing
last week.
That $50,000.
So he didn't say,
crack.
Mayor, you're currently under indictment for campaign fraud. And your husband, with whom you live with in your home, along with your 10-year-old daughter, was picked up going on a drug deal with 31 grams of cocaine in his car and 2 illegal weapons at your house. He didn't say that.
That was too long of a question.
He didn't say, what do you have to say about the gun violence when you have illegal guns and drugs in your house? He didn't say that. And I'll have to hand it to Adam Chodak. He got to the guns and drugs, but they gave her a soft pass.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a soft pass, I believe.
I didn't watch it. Was there any dialogue between the candidates themselves, or did they just simply respond to the moderator?
They responded to the moderator.
So they played nice in the sandbox.
And when asked about the allegations,
because Malik should have just gone after
Malik Evans.
himself.
No, did not play into that at all. Didn't
Really?
Bring it up. Didn't have anything to say about Mayor Lovely's husband's drug and gun bust. Nothing.
What was your takeaway from that? You
So
think
he's a paper candidate then?
He's scared.
He's only running
Really?
he's only running to give some opposition.
He's running
But
because
he doesn't
he
want
might
to lose.
win.
He doesn't want to lose his job.
He might. He's running because he might win
Yeah, he doesn't
the
want
mayoral
to win.
position. He might win.
He doesn't want it.
That's why he's running. But he didn't go on attack mode, and he didn't bring up the fact and didn't say anything bad about the drug bust that happened at her house.
interesting.
Because Malik Evans, I believe, in my opinion, is scared that she'll be reelected, and then
Yeah.
Washed.
the lovely Warren is known for getting rid of people
Yeah.
You think?
Redemption.
that don't exactly go the Mayor Lovely Warren way, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
100%. Look what she. I mean,
So, but the media, but Adam Chodak and Mayor, that thing that happened last week.
wow.
What thing? Oh, the guns and drugs. He doesn't even outline it. Really, he doesn't.
Yeah. What if people didn't know about it
That's what I'm.
and they're watching the debate?
I mean, they've got to find people on a jury that don't really know about cases, right?
Correct.
There are people in this town that probably have no idea about Mayor Lovely Warren's husband getting busted as a member of a mid-level drug gang. They probably don't know that.
There's probably people in town that don't know Tom's sitting next to me with no shoes on right now.
Low
we-
Looking at his
information.
naked feet.
Rush
Yeah, so-
Limbaugh used to call them low information voters, right?
So do we have the
Nope.
video of Malik Evans?
Yeah, here we go.
Austin, here we go.
Important for voters to see that because Mrs. Smith on Smith Street is concerned about her not having enough money to go and eat. It's important because we are at a city where we had 130 people shot so far this year. So the issues are so critical for our community going forward that we have to make sure that we start having conversations about how we are going to fix those problems, because the average voter wants to know how you're going to be able to make their life better for them. And that's why it was so important that we have a substantive debate tonight. And
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to deal with the drama. That's what he said. He says, I'm not going to
No.
deal with that drama. And then he went into that conversation. So when Adam Chodak said, Mayor, you're under indictment, and that thing that happened with your husband last week.
Mhm. Well, just like the presidential
we're-
election, this is going to be, you're either voting for Mayor Warren or you're voting against Mayor Warren.
How about the media actually does their job and asks the right questions? I thought that was a soft pass from Adam Chodak.
That's what
I
they're
really
supposed
did.
to do.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. And you know what she basically said? Everyone has problems in their life. No, see, as mayor of the city of Rochester, which is the highest in poverty and gun violence, you are supposed to stand out as an example. Yes? You are
You would
held
think.
to a higher level. We don't want to know that you have illegal weapons and drugs in your house with your 10-year-old daughter. And do you know the 10-year-old daughter was home alone when daddy was off on a drug deal with loaded weapons in the house?
Everyone,
And she didn't even go get her daughter herself when state police showed up.
yeah, I heard she sent a chauffeur,
She sent a security detail person.
probably the East Ironquoit security team.
Was it Swoop One?
But
Swoop One security, yeah.
Swoop One
you
security?
should not be mayor of the city of Rochester if you can't keep guns and drugs out of your own house.
Out of your own home, right?
And she makes it a part of her. Well, I can relate. Everyone in this town can relate. I am on the same level as the people. I don't think we want a mayor that's on the same level as we want a mayor who's going to lead in the right direction, not be on the same level as the druggie and gun runners in this town, right?
What do I always say? I always point out that whatever the leftist progressives are telling you, they're always doing the opposite, right?
Yeah,
Don't I always
yes,
harp on that?
Yes.
Another classic example. How many times does Mayor Lovely Warren get up with her bully pulpit and her microphone in front of the go along press and say things like gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. We have to do this.
Cops
we have
are
to
bad.
do that.
Cops are bad. They should all be fired.
Yeah. Fired for cause.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And
But not Lovely.
Yeah, but not when
No,
you're
but-
under indictment for campaign fraud.
No.
Not when you're, found with illegal guns in your home and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just preposterous.
A home that is in her name, not her husband's.
It's preposterous.
Right? So
That's possession.
theoretically,
That's
right.
possession under the law. She has a key and she has access and opportunity to handle those drugs and guns.
Right.
She's in as much possession of those drugs and guns that he is.
Right.
Simply put. And I'll be honest with you. I haven't looked at the situation. I don't know what he's charged with. I don't know what the factual allegations are, but I can give you a hypothetical. And the hypothetical is if they found any sort of illegal drugs or guns or any other sort of illegal paraphernalia within that home, and he's charged under a scheme of possessing those items, whoever has access with a key and an opportunity to, reside there and live there, they're all in possession.
Right.
Who's ever residing there is in possession. It's called constructive possession.
Maybe that's why Sandra Dorley said that there
are more charges.
There might be more charges.
There you go. They're looking
Child
into that.
endangerment, maybe.
Yeah.
But the question that Adam Chodak should have asked during the mayoral debate last night, or at least Malik Evans should have brought it up in his response to the question.
Is Adam paying for all this publicity?
No, probably not. But the question he should have said is, Mayor Lovely Warren, if you can't control your own family in your own house,
Your own home.
how in the world can you possibly get Rochester under control?
Yeah.
How can you possibly stop the guns and drugs from the streets when it's in your living room?
Could you imagine how perfect that question would have been?
Why didn't Adam Chodak ask that question?
Because he'd
in
get
that
squashed.
manner.
He'd get squashed too.
No, in that manner. Why didn't he, instead of saying, Mayor Lovely, you're under indictment
For that thing.
and then, that thing that happened last week.
Yeah. Because he's a Democrat and he lives in the city.
What a soft pedal.
Pathetic.
Well, I mean, really, grow a set of
Shameful.
balls.
Do your
and
job.
Ask the question legitimately. I mean, the worst that could happen is she'd walk off stage, and wouldn't that be great?
Exactly.
I mean, that's all drama that we want to see. But honestly, it's a legitimate question that I don't think anyone would have faulted him for when it gets down to it. I mean, you're a lawyer. You have to ask the tough questions, right?
Absolutely.
Or you're not a good lawyer.
No, you're not
right?
representing your client if you don't.
It's the same thing when you're in the news media. You have to ask the right questions or you suck. Why even be there?
I like how you say lawyer. Say that again. I like how you pronounce it. You probably don't even realize.
I don't even know.
It's very phonetic, very phonetically sound.
Okay.
Because most people just say
Now I'm very
lawyer.
self-conscious.
Or it just kind of merges together. But you kind of break it up between the word
Lawyer?
law and your
Lawyer.
lawyer. I love
Lawyer.
it. That's
Is
great.
that Southern
You're
drawl coming
yeah.
out of Missouri?
That's a redneck.
Yeah.
That's a redneck, Chad.
I
When
grew
you're a
up in
lawyer.
Trader Court, Missouri. That's where I grew up, Buckner, Missouri, where we say lawyer.
I love it.
I just say,
My grandfather always used to tell me, he's like, you can always tell an honest lawyer.
how's that?
He has holes in his shoes.
or no shoes.
He has holes in his shoes. Yeah.
Why does he have holes in his shoes?
Well, because he's not, stealing enough money from his clients.
Oh, I
so he
get
can't.
it.
Yeah. So you're an honest lawyer. You have holes in your shoes.
Sometimes you have to paint me a picture.
That's okay.
You have to.
That's okay. Trust me. He used to say it to me all the time. It took me like 400 times before I figured out what the hell he was trying to say either.
But that's all I'm saying is that you're a lawyer, do your job.
Yeah.
Right? Tom, you're an appraiser. Go out and appraise houses. I'm a real estate agent. I sell houses, or I try to. I try to find buyers' houses. I try to. It's tough.
You're a reporter. Ask tough questions.
Yeah. If you're a reporter, if you're a
job.
If you're a journalist, because that's what these guys consider themselves.
Right.
They consider themselves.
They're carrying water for the
Journalists.
progressive movement.
I'm Evan Dawson, and I'm a journalist. I'm Adam Chodak. I'm a journalist. Do your freaking job then.
I'm Kimberly Ray, and I'm going to get a letter.
I'm probably going to get a letter. I mean, it wouldn't be the first letter.
All right, I got baseball games to go to.
You got baseball? You got stuff to do?
Yeah, I'm allowed to go to a baseball game now.
Well, you know what?
You guys are going to have to cut me loose here pretty soon.
With a mask. So does your mask...
Only in Irondequoit,
So
though.
does your mask say something offensive?
No.
Could you at least do that?
I might cut a hole in it and stick my tongue out of it tonight.
Okay, that's gross. That's really gross.
I can touch my nose with my tongue.
All right. So the Daily Show, Kimberly's Revolution, will be back on Tuesday. It's Memorial weekend.
I get a day off.
So you guys, do your memorial thing.
Yeah, we always
and
go to
honor
the
our
parade in Webster.
veterans, right? Our men and women of service that fought for and gave their lives for the freedom of the United States of America.
Some gave it all.
Some gave it all. That's right. And
All gave some gave all.
Some just want to bitch about the way things are because, they never had the balls to go out and fight for anything.
Jack Nicholson said, "You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
That's
you
exactly
rise
right.
and sleep under the blanket of freedom that I
That's it.
provide and then question in the manner in which I provided.
Really?
I'd rather you just thank me.
Wow.
Otherwise, take up a weapon and something.
Stand a post.
Stand a post.
Stand a post.
Otherwise, I don't give a shit what you think you're entitled to."
So reading, writing, and restraining order. That was the name of today's show, Kimberly's Revolution, brought to you by our sponsors. They support us, so we hope that you support them. Kimberly's Revolution, you can see it on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. And of course, we're on We the People podcast network on Facebook. You can find it on my Facebook page at Kimberly Ray. And we're all over the place, right, Tom?
Yeah.
You made it so that we're all over the place.
I got to do one more shout out. I just remembered something.
Do a shout out.
One of my best friends, we went to college together. We played football together at St. John Fisher.
You have a friend?
I have one friend.
Okay.
Yeah. At the ripe old age of 46, him and his beautiful wife, Carly, they live down in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Is it Charlotte or Charlotte?
It's Charlotte.
They live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they just had their first baby at 2:16 a.m. this morning.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Luca Giovanni Montemerno.
Love it.
Yeah, German. Good German.
Yeah, I like that. German, exactly. Luca. I love that name. It's beautiful.
Luca Giovanni Montemerno. So congratulations to Pete and Carly.
We love babies.
Yeah.
That are patriots.
All right. Pay attention to next week's notes for programming for the We the People podcast network.
We're adding people.
Yep, we are.
Before and after our show.
Wait, what are we doing?
We're adding people.
We're adding shows.
Did I get canceled?
We're adding shows.
Hopefully,
it's all
Mr. Hummel.
happening.
Yes, I
And-
think I have a name, by the way. I think I finally came up with a name
What's
for
your
my
name?
show.
What's the name for your show?
Got Freedom with a question mark.
I like it.
Got Freedom. I
like
started the show by talking about Williamsburg, Virginia.
it. Right.
Oh.
So years ago, there's this awesome restaurant that we go to in Williamsburg. It's called I forget.
We're out of time.
What's it called? It's called
It's called We're Out of Time.
oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember the name of the restaurant. But anyway, there's this awesome restaurant that we go to, and they sell these t-shirts that have these sayings on them.
Right.
The theme of their restaurant is historical individuals in the country. So they have these beautiful murals on the wall of George Washington and Susan B. Anthony and
Gotcha.
Frederick Douglass and so on and so forth. And they sell t-shirts in their gift shop. And one of the t-shirts that I bought years ago, on the front of it, it says "Got Freedom" with a question mark. And on the back, there's a quote from Ronald Reagan.
Nice.
And I've just had this t-shirt all these years. I like wearing
there
it.
it is. There's
I
your
wear it
name.
on the 4th of July.
See,
I can't believe I didn't.
It's got to happen organically.
It's got to have a personal, exactly.
It can't just be something that's contrived.
Correct. 100%.
It's just gotta. It's right.
So it just came to me today. Got Freedom. So that's going to be it.
So we're going to be
right.
announcing when all the people from the We the People Podcast
Yep.
Network, their shows are going to be outlined. So
Looks
we're
like
breaking things down.
Tuesdays. Looks like Tuesdays right
Tuesdays?
now is lining up as the day. So
All right.
hold your Tuesdays. Wednesday, June 2nd, we're going to walk with Jesus over to the town hall.
Stand with Chad.
We're going to stand with Jesus
That's
at the
it.
town hall. And hopefully he's going to have, I got to get you some open-toed sandals to bring to court.
All right.
Please don't.
Yeah.
All right. And as we always say, Tom,
God bless, be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.